What's up, guys? It's Eric from Rare Candy, and today we're back with the third round of the recent League Challenge I got to attend. If you guys didn't see the first two rounds, definitely be sure to check them out. I'll be sure to put a link somewhere, maybe in the description or on the video for you guys to go look at those. But anyway, so for this round, we have John Oglesby on the left playing Water Toolbox versus Brian Fox on the right, who's playing Trevenant BREAK. And if you guys saw the previous match, John also had to play against Trevenant, um, which, spoiler alert, he did win. So let's see if he can pull out another win against this Trevenant deck. And I apologize for the cut right there, guys. They were a little bit slow getting the round started. But anyways, ooh, they both open with Shaman, so that's definitely not good for either player. But let's see. It looks like Brian is going first. And if he can get this turn one item lock, hopefully that will, slow his opponent down enough to get set up. Since the Water Toolbox deck is kind of reliant on using things like Max Elixir to get powered up more quickly. So here we see an Ultra Ball. Let's see what he has in hand. Getting rid of a Megaphone and maybe a Supporter. I think he has an N. I think that probably seems best. That seems good to me. So that way he can probably grab a Shaman here. I think he does have some other cards in his hand he can play down. So he does have a Mystery Energy, I believe a Psychic Energy, and a Battle Compressor. He might want a Compressor before doing anything else, though. Yep, seems good. That way you can maybe put a Wally in the discard to grab with Versus Seeker. So Lysander, that's a good choice. Probably a Wally and probably another supporter, if I had to guess. So Sycamore and an N. Okay, that's kind of surprising. Uh, Maybe he has a Wally in hand. I can't tell. Or that would be a shame if they were all prized, though. Huh. Okay. So let's see what happens though. So he gets a D Valley, not too relevant on this turn, just because he can't attack and use Ascension, since he is going first. Let's see. Even if he whiffs the turn on Wally, if he can maybe just get down a second Phantom, I think that'd be good. Or maybe if he can get Wobbuffet, that might be a good card to throw down and put up in the active spot potentially. Here we see another Battle Compressor. Oh, and there's the Wally. I'm kind of surprised that didn't hit the discard first, but hopefully he can still pull out the turn one item lock if possible. So you have to ask, what else do you really want to get rid of at this point? Okay, he plays 3 Battle Compressor. That's interesting. So yeah, you probably don't need to discard any more cards. That seems good to me. Get rid of that, and it's probably about it. You already have Lysander in the discard, Sycamore, and N, I believe. So let's see what happens here. Okay, he does have the Eternal Molly. That's good. So that way he can get out his Trevenant, and he does have a Psychic Energy in hand to retreat as well. Okay. So let's see. I can't tell what else Brian has in hand. I think a Trevenant Break, which is nice. He'll have that for next turn. Okay, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like John has too much to work with at all here. He has that Zerosic, which will come in handy to get rid of a Mystery Energy. Oh, okay, he does have Sycamore. Never mind. So let's see. Oh, and he gets Hoopa. That's actually a really good card to get under item lock, just because you can't use your Ultra Balls. Getting Hoopa will let you, as an alternative way to grab things like Shaman if you want. Aegislash, that could be a decent card. I'm not sure how I feel about Aegislash as a Trevenant player. I'm always really excited when I see Aegislash hit the board because that means I can just Lysander it up and spread around it. So I'm not sure how I feel about that just yet. I I'd maybe wait and hold on to it before playing it down if I'm in John's position. So we'll see what happens. Glaceon could also be an important card in this matchup too. Uh, we didn't see too much of it last game. John pretty much took the game with a lone Seismitoad, but Glaceon's interesting because it does prevent uh, Trevenant's damage since it is an evolution Pokemon. But Item Lock probably is the better thing to lead with, though, just because Trevenant itself is very reliant on its own items as well. Particular things like Bursting Balloon, which really the deck is centered around. Okay, and ooh, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't look like Brian has anything left, so I would probably have held onto the Burst Balloon though, just because you're not really in danger of being knocked out here, or I'm sorry, being attacked here, because his opponent can't play things like Max Elixir, and Water Toolbox typically only plays basic energy. So I do think that was a little overly defensive there. Uh, oh, and John does have the Rough Seas as well, which is definitely a really big annoyance. So I'm not sure Brian's Dimension Valley count, but that's going to be a big thing in this matchup. Who can win the Stadium War? Oh, and God, look at that. That's such a good top deck. So he hits a Sycamore, gets another Phantom, which is really nice. You can start powering up another Trevenant. And here, if you can't bounce that Stadium, I mean, you pretty much have to just keep going for a Tree Slam. Otherwise, the Rough Seas can really just negate any damage you're doing to the Seismitoad. Okay, and I do believe I see Dimension Valley in his hand as well, so that's really nice. So if I'm Brian, I'm probably going to be eyeing down Tree Slam. So that seems good, and probably just put damage on the Shaman and Hoopa again. That way, if John does get down another Rough Seas, he won't be able to heal off the damage from those. Okay, so we see a second Water Energy, and I do see a Hex in hand. Okay, so bumping the Dimension Valley and Hex. So definitely not a card you want to see if you were Brian. Oh, and he draws a Fighting Fury Belt off of that Trainers Mail. That would actually be a really good card here, just because that really screws up the math for Trevenant. Here he's going to favor the N. Maybe he doesn't have another draw supporter for next turn, potentially. Seems fine to me. Oh, and he already has his own Fighting Fury Belt, so that's fine then. So he does have an AZ in hand as well. That could be really good, especially because Trevenant takes forever to get knockouts, and right before it, cleans up a knockout on maybe that Shaman or something, you can just pick it up and heal off the damage. So I think that'll also be a good card here. So I forget what Brian has in hand, but if he can, the big thing is he really just needs to bump that Rough Seas. Otherwise, that Seismitoad EX is really going to uh, tank its way to victory, I think. So here we see 40 come down. Okay, he does have another Trevenant, which is nice at least. And I think he's debating if he wants to attach. I'd maybe favor attaching to the regular Trevenant in this case. Um, I don't know. Because we kind of, well, we probably assume the Seismitoad is going to be knocking out this Trevenant break. So I don't know. Maybe he has a Versus Seeker in hand to play a supporter for once his opponent Grenade Hammers him and breaks the item lock. Maybe that's why he's favoring powering up the active, because maybe he figures he'll just draw into what he needs. Okay, and here we see AZ healing that Shaman. Okay, and we see Manaphy hit the board. And actually, the Waterbox player, if they can actually just cycle between Manaphy's, they can actually win pretty much the entire game that way. Because Manaphy's attack heals 30 from their bench Pokemon. So between that and Rough Seas, you're healing any damage really that Trevenant can do to you. So Seismitoad is definitely the quicker attacker here in order to clean up the game. But if you don't mind playing a slower game, you can win the whole thing just with Manaphy. Okay, so here we have a Trainer's Mail. Okay, we get a Bursting Balloon. That's really nice. Now that Brian is able to play his item cards, he definitely wants to be able to abuse those. But he needs an energy to start Tree Slamming. That's the big thing. So let's see. I know he has an Ultra Ball in hand. Oh, he does have Versus Seeker, so he will be able to actually play a supporter. So probably I'm guessing going for a Sycamore or maybe an N. I can't tell how many cards are in John's hand currently, but either of those seems fine. Okay, I'm not sure what the other card in Brian's hand is, but maybe it's something important since it looks like he's a little bit indecisive if he does want to grab the Sycamore. So it looks like he is favoring it, but he's contemplating the N. It's a tough decision. If you have to keep the card that's in your hand, I mean, maybe Sycamore is better, but and I'm not sure how many cards were in John's hand, but maybe if he had, maybe like six, maybe the N he felt would be the stronger play just to disrupt his opponent a little bit. So here though, he's already okay. So John's already played his AZ. At some point, if oh, never mind. I was gonna say he can maybe Lysander up the Hoopa and spread around that, but Manaphy gives everything free retreat, so not really a viable option against the Water Toolbox deck. I keep forgetting the whole point of Manaphy in this deck. So here we see a Versus Seeker. He might want to grab something with it just in case he gets hit with a Quaking Punch next turn. Okay, so that seems like a good idea. And he does have an energy, but he doesn't have a Dimension Valley, from what I can tell. So what's he get? Ooh, getting rid of a Burst Balloon. I'm guessing he's figuring that he probably is going to be Quaking Punch next turn, so it won't be of use. Okay, and I actually like this Wobbuffet play because if John attacks into this Trevenant and takes the 6 damage counters, even after healing with Rough Seas, I believe that puts him in knockout range. So let's see. I'll pump up to 120 down to, well, actually, I don't know because the Fighting Fury Belt does mess up the math. So let's see. So he is opting to power up Manaphy. So maybe John is kind of contemplating that Manaphy play I was talking about. Maybe just in case this Seismitoad goes down, he can kind of use that as like a backup strategy. So let's see here. So he is going to attack into this guy. And he does need to take 6 on the Seismitoad EX. Okay, there he goes. Yeah, so unfortunately, Wobbuffet actually won't be able to knock out this Toad because of the Fighting Fury Belt. But we'll see here. Hopefully he can get a Dimension Valley to actually start attacking and put a little bit more pressure on his opponent. And especially too because if he gets down the Rough Seas, or the Dimension Valley, and then gets off an attack, that'll prevent him from healing and putting and that will put the Toad in knockout range for the Wobbuffet the following turn. He's playing Versus Seeker. I guess just contemplating what he wants to get. I mean, N seems like a decent play just because you kind of assume that your opponent is going to take a knockout next turn. So that seems good to me. But I don't think he has a Dimension Valley. That's actually kind of a big thing. If he plays another Shaman, he might be able to Ultra Ball to get another one, but looks like he just passed it. So he probably only plays the 2 Shaman then. Okay. And here he's just opting to attack with Manaphy. And this is nice because he can Rough Seize already and then use Manaphy to heal it an additional 30. So, unfortunately, Brian, oh man, there's the Dimension Valley, his next card. That would have been big for the previous turn if he had hit that. So, I mean, the good news is he is going to be ability locking John, so Manaphy will have to discard extra energy to retreat instead of retreating for free. But at this point, I'm not sure if that makes too big of a difference. If he has any more bursting balloons, that's really what's going to matter. I believe he's played 3 so far, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I think we've seen 2 hit the board, and he discarded the 1, so I believe he has 1 more. And I'm not sure if Brian plays anything like Eco Arm or not, but if he does, that would be a big help in this situation. Here we just see 10 damage come down. Okay, we see a Lysander, and probably just a retreat the Toad and take a knockout here. And that'll put John down to 2 prizes, so really he just needs another Lysander, and he takes the game. So, and since he's not item locked right now either, that'll be a lot easier for him to do as well. I'm not sure how many Versus Seekers he's gone through, but I believe that's his first Lysander, so he probably has another one in the deck. And since he's been item locked, that means he probably also has a Versus Seeker or 2 still left as well. Okay, and yeah, I see a Sycamore in hand. I see an Ultra Ball. But, I mean, really the only thing I feel like you need to get down are Bursting Balloons. That's what's going to save you in this matchup. Or if you can maybe Lysander or Hoopa, you can get 2 prizes off that as well. Okay, we do see Level Ball. You can grab Phantump. And he also has the, I believe it's Nervous Seed Trevenant in his deck as well. That can maybe be a decent attacker against this Seismitoad. That's the non-item lock Trevenant from Breakpoint. But I'm not sure how much energy Brian actually has left either. But here he just has Versus Seeker for the game. And so there we go. John Oglesby takes a pretty convincing win over Trevenant BREAK right there. So yeah, guys, like I said, we're going to keep uploading more of these. We have 1 more round for this tournament. But like I said, if you do want to watch the other rounds, I'll have a link somewhere for you to check them out. But yeah, guys, feel free to like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch at rarecandytcg.com. And we will see you guys for the next one, okay?